Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to the second part for the lecture number 14. My name is Engineer Jafar Ali and I'm an instructor for this course. So as you know that we were discussing about this DHCP protocol and we discussed about the components of DHCP, the mobility factor that is included in this DHCP and how this mobility is being tackled in this kind of protocol, and what are the relationship between this BOOTP and DHCP, what is the message format of the DHCP message, and what type of messages are there, what are the option fields over there, what are the message types that are there for DHCP. That includes DHCP discover, DHCP offer, DHCP request, DHCP acknowledgement, and there are 3 to 4 more. So let's continue our lecture with the operation of DHCP, that how does this DHCP actually work. So when this is the complete description of the functionality, we will further call about the procedure in the coming slides as well. So let's get started. So how does DHCP actually works? So when a client needs to start up a TCP operation, TCP IP operation, it broadcasts a request for the information or address information, that it wants the address information. So in response to that request information, the DHCP server receives that request. It assigns a new address for a specific time period, let's say lease time or a lease period. After that, it will be released, and then it sends it back to the client together with the other required configuration information. This is how this has been done, and this information is acknowledged by the client, and after that it used to set up this information is then used to set up its configuration. Then this DHCP server will not reallocate the same address during the lease period and will attempt to return the same address every time the client requests an address. The client may extend its lease with subsequent request and may send a message to the server before this lease actually expires, by telling it that it does not need this address any longer, so that this IP address is basically can be allocated towards another user who is requesting for some information towards any other TCP IP connection operation. So this is how the overall this DHCP actually works. Let's go step by step about the procedures that are involved in this DHCP. So the first thing involved is basically obtaining a new address and reusing a previously allocated address. So these are two things. You can either use a new address or you can reuse a previously allocated address, unless and until it is not allocated to any other user on the different time. So this is how this allocating new address has been achieved. So the first thing is basically the server which is not selected is start at the start. This is the client. This client is basically establishes a connection between both of the servers, that one of is connected and the second one is not. This DHCP this DHCP discover message is basically sent to both of the servers. Then this message received by both of the servers, basically this is a broadcast message, so that is why discover message is broadcast message, you already know that. So on receiving the both of the offers, it basically reply back with a request, and this is also broadcast. So these are 3 messages. The first one is discover, the second one is DHCP offer, the third one is DHCP information request. And after receiving the information, only this server basically provides the acknowledgement. So a client select this configuration provided by this server. You see that how this is done, and this will be rejected. After all the initialization has been complete, you have gracefully completed your transmissions or information configuration. You can just release the DHCP IP address that was allocated to you by this server, and that release, and you will also, it will be showing as discard release at the end, at the termination point, and in the end this IP address that was allocated to you by this server will be released, and it may be used by any other user at different time in the next time. Now, how the server select a new address? This is the main point, that how a server will know to either to select a new network or provide it with the previous network address. So, how does a server select a new address? So, based on the client's current address as recorded in the client's current binding, else the client previous address. You see that all your data has been monitored, and according to that you are dealt. The client's current address as recorded in the client current binding, else the client previous address as recorded in the client's binding. If the at address is in the already in the server, and it is a proof that you have not basically reallocated, so you will be provided the same address. If you are basically moved and your position is not the same as it was binded in there in the previous binded information, you will be released a new address. A new address allocated will be allocated by the server from the server's pool of available addresses, and this address is selected based on the subnet from which the message was received. If your message was received from, let's say, subnet 0, so it will this server will know that you are close to this or you are within this subnet 0, so it will allocate your IP address in such a way that is compatible to this subnet 0. So this is how this new addresses allocation has been done in this DHCP server. Now, how to obtain an IP address? So after receiving this DHCP discover broadcast by the server, because the client does not know any IP address of DHCP server, that is why it basically broadcast this message. Boot relay agents may relay it to the DHCP servers. So one or more DHCP server responds with a DHCP offer, and this DHCP offer basically includes this YIADAR. It means your IP address, your IP address. So it will respond back you by providing you your IP address, that is the client address. You are the client, so you will be receiving your IP address in this DHCP offers message. You will broadcast your request in the DHCP discover, and you will receive your IP address from DHCP offer. And you should also be this is a recommended check. You should, instead of must, you should. What do you do? What do you have to do? You have to make sure that server uses this ICMP echo request to check if the address is free or not. It might be possible that the server is also providing the same IP address to another any other user or any other client, so that there is also, you can also cross check that as well, but it is not necessary. It is just to take a precaution before any bad thing happens. So once after obtaining an IP address, if a client receives no DHCP offer before it times out, it retransmit a DHCP discover. So unless and until the clients receive the IP address, the new IP address, it will retransmit a DHCP server. Then client may wait for multiple replies and then choose to one offer. If it is not accepting any offer, it can also use another broadcast message by requesting DHCP discover message again and again. So this is the scenario, and client should probe address with the ARP. If the client detects that the address is already in use, it issues a DHCP decline. So this is also done. You can also make sure that your IP address is not being copied or conflicted to any of any of the networks. This is also the same thing. These are many overall procedures that are involved in the obtaining of an IP address. So servers other than the one that is selected in the DHCP request will immediately release their offered addresses, while the selected server will note the binding. The server will note down the binding for the future use. If the selected server cannot meet the needs of the DHCP request, the server will send back a DHCP not acknowledgement. If the client does not receive a DHCP acknowledgement or DHCP NAC before timeouts, it will retransmit this DHCP, because you see that this process will be continuing. This is a loop, and it will continue unless and until the message has been received and you have received your IP address. This is the reuse of address. How can you use this DHCP? If we are talking about obtaining a new IP address, now will be talking about reuse of this IP address. So this is the flow chart of the reuse of address. So let's say you have already received your offer, and now you, after some time, you want to reset or transmit the request message. So you can either starting from a DHCP discover, you can start from DHCP request. But for this condition, this you must be kept keep in mind that you have to be in the part of a network earlier in the previous phase. So after you have done that phase, you can reuse. So because you know that for reuse you first have to use it, after that you can reuse it. So if you have used DHCP server, after then only you can use a reuse factor of that server. So this is initiated by a message that is DHCP request. This is broadcasted to both of the servers, and whichever packets servers basically reply back to you regarding its DHCP acknowledgement, and then you can connect to that server. And servers with the knowledge of the client's configuration parameters respond with the DHCP MAC to the client. If any server is not associated with during the previous, it will not send you, and it will the packets will be ignored. So this is the overall process of reuse of a IP address. This is a theory. This is mentioned over here. So in the start, the DHCP request, the client message to the server. It will request about the information of the offered parameters from the server and implicitly declining offers from all others. It will confirm the correctness of the previously allocated address. For example, the system reboot, or you have disconnected and connected again. And it will also provide you the extending of the lease for a particular network address. And in response to that, acknowledgement will be sent, and this acknowledgement will be sent from the server to the client with the configuration parameters, and this will include the committed network addresses. So these are some questions that we will be discussing, and you should be keeping in mind that what happens if there is no DHCP server on a network, and if an IP host connects to it with the same with the obtain IP address automatically option selected. Who makes and sells these DHCP servers? Are they standalone entities, or they add-ons to IP routers? How to use a sniffer to capture a DHCP messages, and explain the procedures and parameters. So we will be discussing this in the class, inshallah. There are answers also mentioned over here in the slides. You can also basically establish a concept over here by using these slides as well. You can establish your own concept, and we will be discussing this inshallah in the class, because this is the concept. This is not a theory which I will teach you. This is a concept, and concepts needs to be polished, and this is done by the discussion phenomena and discussion session. So we will be discussing these questions. How can a user, or how can any sniffer will be there to obtain trace of this DHCP session? So there are several things that is there also, and this needs to be discussed. So inshallah we will be discussing this is the practical examples. And in the last, what are the benefits for using a DHCP for a dynamic host, dynamic address location? So the most important thing is the first, and the overall benefit is the address reuse. You can reuse the same address as many times as you want, unless until you make sure that other requirements are fulfilled. It removes the error-prone manual host configuration process to set up the IP address, the DNS server address, and the gateway address, etc. This is the major advantages and the benefits that will be there, and it will be providing you the best of the services that you want to gain from any of the DHCP server. So this was all about this lecture number 14. I hope that this was quite enough, and this is quite interesting topic as well. I will be looking forward to have your questions with you when you come to the class. So bring as many questions as you want, because you know that the more you ask, the more you learn. That's all for the this week. I'll see you in the class, inshallah. Make sure you attend the class, and if you are not attending the class because of any reason, you can contact me on my email on my portal as well. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.